Evening, everyone. Um, Welcome to the formal City Council meeting for the City of Coralville on May 12th. Again, as we've done the last several meetings, we're doing it electronically via Zoom. So hopefully we've got a good audience out there through Zoom and also through just the city's regular webpage. So I'd like to call this meeting to order and roll call, please.
Councilmember Foster.
Present.
Gross.
Here.
Gill. Dodds.
Present.
Goodrich.
Here.
Okay, all council members with the exception of Councilmember Gill are present. He did mention to me he was going to be in Ohio tonight, but he thought he was going to be able to connect via Zoom. Maybe he's having some electronic challenges or something. So, but also we have the city administrator, assistant city administrator, city engineer, city legal staff, as well as several other city staff members and the clerk present. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Goodrich, seconded by Foster. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The agenda is approved. First item, which is item number 4, is to a proclamation recognizing the service, dedication, and sacrifice of soldiers of the Iowa National Guard and Bravo Company as they are to be mobilized to Fort Bliss, Texas for pre-mobilization training before deployment to the Middle East on May 30th. This started with an email I received from Captain and Commander Dan Hawes back on April 27th, telling me that yes, indeed, the infantry, the local unit here on Melrose Avenue, is sending almost from Iowa. They're sending almost 500 soldiers to the Middle East, and over 100 of those are local soldiers from this area, from the Bravo Company. As I mentioned in the introduction, they'll be headed to Fort Bliss, Texas here the end of this month, and then over to the Middle East after some training down there. And for the majority of the service members, the captain was telling me that this will be their first deployment, which means it's the first time away from home and from their families and from their community for this long a time. And that by itself would be challenging. And then layer on the impacts of the pandemic and the impacts on families and just the disruptions to our normal routines. It's really going to be a challenge for them, and our hearts go out to all of them. You know, as the captain mentioned, traditionally there'd be a send-off ceremony down at the armory or somewhere, and the mayors and council members could attend and bid them farewell. But again, because of the pandemic issue, we're having to do this electronically. So, as an alternative, I would like to read a proclamation and issue this proclamation, and then I'll sign it and send the original to Captain Hawes tomorrow in the mail, and he's also joining us. So after I read this, I'll let him say a few words. So proclamation for the city of Coralville. Whereas the Iowa Army National Guard's Bravo Company will deploy to the Middle East as part of the 1-133 Infantry Battalion. And whereas many of the soldiers in the Iowa National Guard's Bravo Company are Coralville residents, students of Kirkwood Community College or the University of Iowa, and have families that are growing up here or have grown up in Coralville or the surrounding communities. And whereas the soldiers of Bravo Company are being mobilized to Fort Bliss, Texas for final pre-mobilization training before traveling to the Middle East this 30th day of May 2020. Now therefore I, John A. Lundell, Mayor of the City of Coralville, do hereby recognize the service, dedication, and sacrifice of the soldiers of Bravo Company and the Iowa National Guard and their families this 30th day of May 2020. Further, I exhort all citizens of Coralville to join with me to express our gratitude to those who have served and those who are now serving to protect our nation and its freedoms. Signed this 12th day of May 2020, John A. Lundell, Mayor. So with that, Captain Hawes, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you so much, Mayor John Lendl. Again, as you said, my name is Captain Daniel Hawes. Mayor John Lendl, members of the Coralville City Council, and other valued members of the City of Coralville joining us today. I am honored to be recognized in such high esteem by members of my community. So thank you so much for having me here today. Your proclamation means a lot to myself and my soldiers as we prepare our mobilization. As I and the Barbarians of Bravo Company 1st, the 133rd Infantry Battalion, prepares for our mobilization to the Middle East, I can assure you that all the words of encouragement, your thoughts and your prayers, as well as your dedication to your local units, fills us with hope and excitement as we begin our journey for the next year to come as we operate in a foreign land. Knowing that our community supports us as we deploy is one of the most reassuring feelings that we as soldiers can have. And being here today is a testament of the support system that we have to rely as we are gone. So thank you so much for your time and commitment to your local National Guard unit. I can tell you that, again, reaching out to many of my local communities here, that Mr. Lundell, you've been one of the best people to chat with and talk to, and your commitment to us means a lot. So I thank you for your time and everything today. And again, as we travel on from the 30th of May on to Fort Bliss and into the beginning of July to the Middle East, we'll be thinking of our community, and we plan on hopefully doing you guys proud and doing good work over there. So thank you very much again.
Okay, thank you, and Godspeed to you and your company.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Any other comments from the council members? Okay, well, very good. And I'll get you this proclamation you can share in hard copy. So thank you.
Yes, I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. Okay, we'll move on to item 5 on the agenda, which is citizen comments. First, I'll ask the clerk, have we received any written, or are there any citizens in the council chambers tonight?
No one's in the council chambers tonight, and we've received no written comments.
Okay. And I assume there's no one that wishes to comment via Zoom as well. So we will move on then to item 6, which is Lot 2, Jacobs Clear Creek 5th Subdivision. This is the second consideration of a rezoning ordinance that would facilitate the construction of a hotel out in the Jacobs Clear Creek 5th Subdivision. That's out near behind Popeye's Chicken and across the street from the Residence Inn Marriott and that generally where there are several other hotels already. So we've discussed this and it's been presented to us previously. So Don, let's just have the second reading of the ordinance, please.
Ordinance number 2020-1004, an ordinance amending the Coralville zoning ordinance, the same being ordinance number 664, as previously amended, rezoning certain property located within the corporate limits of the city of Coralville, Johnson County, Iowa, and generally known as Lot 2, Jacobs Clear Creek 5th Subdivision, from C2 Arterial Commercial District to CPUD 2 Commercial Plan Unit Development 2 District, introduced for adoption and second consideration by Councilmember Foster, seconded by.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded that? Mitch. Okay, seconded by Gross. Any discussion? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Okay, it passes unanimously with Gill absent. The developer for this project has requested that we consider collapsing the readings and hold the third and final reading of this ordinance change at tonight's meeting. So if the council is so inclined, I would entertain a motion to collapse the second and third readings tonight.
I move that we collapse the readings.
Okay, moved by Goodrich, seconded by
Second.
Foster. Okay, any discussion? Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes all ayes with Gill absent. So Don, we'd entertain the third and final reading of the ordinance.
Ordinance number 2020-1004, an ordinance amending the Coralville zoning ordinance, the same being ordinance number 664, as previously amended, rezoning certain property located within the corporate limits of the city of Coralville, Johnson County, Iowa, and generally known as Lot 2, Jacobs Clear Creek 5th Subdivision, from C2 Arterial Commercial District to CPUD 2 Commercial Planned Unit Development 2 District. Is introduced for adoption, third and final consideration for formal adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Discussion? Roll call?
Goodrich,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Gross,
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Okay. The ordinance passes its third and final consideration, all ayes with Gill absent. Item D is a resolution approving the PUDB site plan for this project.
Resolution approving the PUDB site plan for Lot 2, Jacobs Clear Creek, 5th Subdivision, Coralville, Iowa. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Foster. Discussion? Oh, I'm sorry, Dodds. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jill. By Dodds. Roll call?
Foster,
Aye.
Gross,
Aye.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Okay. Resolution passes all ayes with Gill absent. Item 7 is Lot 6, Coral Ridge Commerce Park Phase 6. This is also an ordinance change, amending the zoning ordinance, second consideration. And this would be for 2 commercial buildings on the site of Coral Ridge Commerce Park Phase 6. Basically, it's to the east of Coral Ridge Avenue and to the south of the existing new Burger King restaurant. Don, second reading.
Ordinance number 2020-1005, an ordinance amending the Coralville zoning ordinance, the same being ordinance number 664 as previously amended, rezoning certain property located within the corporate limits of the city of Coralville, Johnson County, Iowa, and generally known as Lot 6, Coral Ridge Commerce Park Phase 6, from C2 Arterial Commercial District to CPUD 2 Commercial Plan Unit Development 2 District, introduced for adoption, second consideration by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gross. Any discussion? Roll call.
Gross,
Aye.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich,
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Ordinance passes its second consideration, all ayes with Gill absent. Moving on to item 8 is the forgivable loan agreement with Goodwill Industries of the Heartland in the amount of $500,000. Their project on the west side of our city that creates 26 jobs within 3 years and keeps those jobs in place for 10 years after the effective date of the agreement. Don, the resolution?
Resolution approving a forgivable loan agreement with Goodwill Industries of Heartland, Inc., introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
We'll give it to Foster. It's close. Seconded by Foster. Kelly, would you like to expound on this a little bit?
Yes, Goodwill Industries has been working on this project with USDA for some time, and this will be occupying a vacant industrial building that's been empty in Coralville for many years. They have their last piece of equipment that was delivered this last week, and so they anticipate here shortly that they'll be up and running and ready to start repackaging the soy oil. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, a big portion of this is job training for disabled individuals, and because of the pandemic, they've had a hard time hiring some of those individuals, and so their intent is to use some of the employees from the store to begin with, and then towards the end of the summer when it's deemed safer and some of the disabled individuals can leave their group homes and other locations, they will be hiring them then, and then the other employees will go back to the store. So look forward to having them up and running, and this is something that they've worked on for some time, and their intent is to expand beyond the soy oil area and to do other food products and other packaging as well.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. Any comments or questions from the council? Roll call.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gill absent. Item 9 is a 2020 build grant application. This is another attempt for us to apply for federal U.S. Department of Transportation funding that would go towards the reconstruction of the Interstate 80 First Avenue interchange project, exit 242. We're applying for over $20 million in build grant funds and hoping for a good outcome this time. Don, the resolution, please.
Resolution of support and authorizing the submission of a 2020 build grant application to the U.S. Department of Transportation for the reconstruction of the I-80 and First Avenue interchange, being exit 242, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Foster, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Alan, you've worked really hard on this project, I know. Is there anything that you'd like to say before we take a roll call?
I would just add, like you mentioned, Mayor, it is our third application. We're hoping third time's a charm. It's a $41 million project. It is in the DOT 5-year plan for construction in 2024, and the local share of it's a 50-50 grant. We're asking for 20.5 million, and then the local share of 20.5 million is committed by the DOT. So we're very hopeful that this could be funded this time.
Great. Thank you for your work on that, Alan. Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Goodrich,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Gross,
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gill absent. Item 10 is Clear Creek Trail Phases 6 and 7. This is a resolution to authorize an agreement that would transfer construction responsibility for this section of the trail from the city of Coralville to the Iowa Department of Transportation, in that it's in the construction area of the current 380-80 interchange project. So it made a lot of sense for them to use their contractor, since it's in their construction zone, to just finish it as part of their project. So basically this transfers responsibility from the city to the DOT to get this done. Don, the resolution.
Resolution approving a pre-construction agreement number 2020-6-120 for primary road project with the Iowa Department of Transportation for unfinished portions of Clear Creek Trail under the I-80, I-380 bridges. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Dodds. Dan, is there anything more you'd like this project? City Engineer Dan Holderness.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You did a great job of explaining what it is. The only thing I would really add is that not only is the DOT going to construct this portion of the trail, we're going to cost share that with them 50-50. So at the end of the day, it doesn't cost us any more money. And as you said, it fits in a better time schedule with their construction of the interchange pre-construction.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the council? Roll call.
Foster,
Aye.
Gross,
Aye.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gill absent. Item 11 is the Fourth Avenue Sanitary Sewer Project. The first item is a bid report. Engineer Holderness, are you going to give us that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This project involves a reconstruction of the existing sanitary sewer along 4th Avenue between 5th Street and Highway 6. Bids were received on May 5th for this project. The low bid submitted was from Maxwell Construction in the amount of $141,030 for the base bid and alternate 2. This was below the consultant's estimate, and we would recommend award of the contract to Maxwell Construction.
Thank you, Dan. Don, the resolution accepting the bids and awarding the contract?
Resolution accepting bids and awarding the construction and contract for the 4th Avenue Sanitary Sewer Project, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Foster. Any discussion? Roll call.
Gross,
Aye.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich,
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes. Item C is a resolution approving the contract and bond documents for the project.
Resolution approving the contract and bond documents for the Fourth Avenue Sanitary Sewer Project, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodd, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Discussion. Roll call.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with people absent. Moving on to item 12, the GreenState Family Fieldhouse Agreement. This is a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Corp and the Global Spectrum Limited Partnership provides space for parks and recreation programming within the Fieldhouse. Don, the resolution, please.
Resolution approving an agreement between the City of Coralville and Global Spectrum LP to provide space for programming at the GreenState Family Fieldhouse for the Coralville Parks and Recreation Department, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gross. Now I've been waiting all evening to call on Parks and Recreation Director Sherry Proud, because by the tile of all our locations, she is in the looks like the most gorgeous location sitting outside. You must have a good Wi-Fi hotspot there, Sherry.
I have an excellent Wi-Fi hotspot. Actually, I have a really good screen behind me of the Eye River Landing. So beautiful place, right?
Absolutely. Well, could you tell us a little bit about this agreement, please?
Yes, this is an agreement between the Parks and Recreation Department and the GreenState Family Fieldhouse for there to have some Parks and Recreation community programming there at the new facility. And in many cases, this will be an opportunity for us to try some new programming as well as expand some programming. And that will open up some of our other gymnasiums, like at the rec center or at our partnership schools. So we are excited about, we've been working with the staff there at the Fieldhouse on some different ideas. This does not include, and this is for Tuesday and Wednesday programming, it does not include any weekend programming that we might do for special events, which we are also talking about, or a few of our tournaments moving to this as a bigger location, which would allow us to expand.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. Are there any comments or questions from the council, or Kelly or anything else to add?
I actually had a couple of questions.
Sure.
So obviously, you know, we hope that the programming for the fall can continue as planned, but I was just wondering if we're not able to have that programming, how does that impact this agreement?
That's a good question. We've been talking back and forth with the Fieldhouse about that, and there is a clause for us to be able to cancel our programming.
Awesome. And then the only other question I had was just, there's in the packet we got the list of the activities that are programmed for this year and next. And there's obviously going to be some flexibility if we wanted to have some other programming there, I would assume, just based on the availability of the Fieldhouse, we could add other things.
Right. This is like an example of what we think we would move there or try, but we're also just constantly brainstorming what else might go over really well there. And so we have that flexibility, but we just wanted to get down on paper some of the things that we wanted to try there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good questions, Megan. And there are other community organizations that are entering into agreements to use the space too. For example, the Pickleball Association. We've talked a lot about how that's such a growing sport amongst particularly elder individuals. They will have pickleball a significant amount every morning, or I don't know if it's weekday mornings, exactly what, but they have entered into their association has entered into their own agreement for the time as well. So there'll be other community groups that are also taking advantage. Other comments or questions? Roll call.
Foster,
Aye.
Gross,
Aye.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich.
Okay, the resolution passes all ayes with Gill absent. Item 13 is the Iowa River Trail Project, Rocky Shore Drive to Clear Creek. This is authorizing an agreement with the Iowa Transportation Alternatives Program and provides over $600,000 in federal grant towards the construction of this trail section from Rocky Shore Drive to Clear Creek. Don?
Resolution approving a federal aid agreement for an Iowa Department of Transportation Alternatives Program, Iowa's TAPS project, that being the Iowa River Trail Project, Rocky Shore Drive to Clear Creek, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Foster, seconded by.
Second.
That was close, but Jill, your box lit up, so we'll seconded by Dodds. Do you want to give Kelly or Sherry or Dan? You want to just comment about what this involves?
Sure, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, this involves a replacement of the much desired trail section, again, along the south side of the river, Iowa River, from Rocky Shore Drive in Iowa City to the Clear Creek connection of the Clear Creek trail system that was built with the flood mitigation projects. This was an existing trail that was washed out in the 2008 floods, and we've been acquiring funds over time, and now we finally have enough to get this trail reconstructed. It's scheduled for an August letting through the Department of Transportation.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Roll call.
Gross,
Aye.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich. Foster,
Aye.
Okay, resolution passes all ayes with Gill absent. Item 15 is a lease and license agreement. This is actually involves a number of business establishments in the Iowa River Landing.
You missed 14?
Oh, did I? Oh, I'm sorry, I did. Thank you. I jumped ahead. Item 14 is the Community Development Block Grant Program, and this is a resolution that will result in us the city receiving about $8,280 from CDBG money tied to the pandemic that the library will be using to purchase mobile Wi-Fi hotspots that are in high demand these days. So the resolution, Don?
Resolution approving a community development block grant contract number 20-ZT0T-031 with the Iowa Economic Development Authority, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Foster. We have Alan Alexander from the library with us. Do you want to say anything about this project, Alan?
Sure. We actually have already purchased 40 hotspots, and we are hoping to get them out into the hands of families that really need them soon, probably in the next week or so. We've reached out to the food pantry for help getting the word out, and we're hoping the schools can help us get the word out. We've already had the Family Resource Center person from Kirkwood Elementary reach out with a family that she has in mind already that could use one. So we're hoping to really, one of the essential things we're not able to do right now is to help people who don't have computers or don't have internet at home. So we're hoping this will help.
I'll reach out to you also, Ellen, and we'll brainstorm a little bit.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So, yep, okay.
Thanks.
Great. Are there any other questions or comments from the council? Roll call.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich. Foster,
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved all ayes with Gill absent. Now we'll jump down to item 15, which is lease and licensing agreement amendments. This is a series of amendments to lease agreements that the city has with tenants, business tenants in the Iowa River Landing, that is during this very tough business climate that we're experiencing right now, provides those businesses an opportunity to defer the April and May rent payments over the next 12 months. Is that correct, Kelly? Basically, it defers their rent to kind of get them through this period when they're no longer open for business.
Yes, correct. They would not make those 2 months payments, and then they will be averaged over the rest of the remaining year's lease, so that they will make up the payments at that particular time.
Okay, thank you. Don, the resolution?
Resolution approving amendments to various license agreements and lease agreements in the Iowa City Landing District, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gross. I think I heard you say, Don, the Iowa City Landing, and I'm sure you meant the Iowa River Landing area, so.
I certainly did if I said it.
Okay.
In the Iowa River Landing District, yes.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the council on this? Roll call then?
Goodrich. Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Okay, the resolution is approved, all ayes with Gill absent. Item 16, I'd consider a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented or amended.
And I move to approve the consent calendar items A through T inclusive.
Okay, moved by Dodds, seconded by
Second.
Seconded by Foster. Any discussion? Questions? Roll call, please.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Okay, the consent calendar is approved, all ayes with Gill absent. Moving on to item 17 is the city administrator's report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Make this real short, but just a couple of things. First, we'd like to thank everyone, all the citizens of Coralville, for their patience as we all go through this pandemic. And I know things are a little unusual and timing doesn't always work for things, but we do appreciate everybody's patience, and know that you can always call City Hall if you have questions about anything. There's somebody here that will answer their call and try to get them the feedback and or the service. This was the week that we were supposed to have Mayor's Cleanup Week, and we moved it back just to we give ourselves a little bit more time. And so Ellen actually came up with the idea, Hobble, that this Friday, everybody that has garbage service Monday through Wednesday will be able to get an extra pickup in their container, their garbage container, put it out on the street, and the department will come around and pick them up. And so that's a way to get rid of some of those small items that you may have accumulated around. I know people are doing lots of cleaning. You know, Jill has been really scrubbing and taking care of all those things in her house, and people like that. And my wife, that, you know, all those cleanup things, you can put them out this week. If you're Thursday cleanup, then your extra time will be next Monday. So just encourage people to take advantage of that. We will offer the complete Mayor's Cleanup Week, where you can put larger items out, and that'll be the week of June 1st. So we'll be ready to go for that during that time period. And so know that that service is coming, and we know people are needing that. Would also remind folks that Goodwill opened this week. And so if you have usable items, encourage you to go to Goodwill and donate your items there. They set up an excellent system for taking your items. It's very, it's touch-free, and there's people there that they can't help you, but they can answer any questions, and they're doing a really good job of providing that service. And also starting next Monday, if you have other items that we don't normally pick up or that wouldn't be good to go to Goodwill, the Iowa City landfill is also opening for all residents of Johnson County. So that is available as well. Also, the Coralville American Legion talked to Rex Brandstetter yesterday. they felt this year was probably more important than any year, that they do intend to go ahead with their Memorial Day service on at 11:15 on the Memorial Day at the Coralville Cemetery. They do encourage and require social distancing, and they have the whole cemetery, and so it's fairly easy to do that at the Coralville Cemetery. So that service will be occurring on Monday, Memorial Day at 11:15. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. Mayor's report. I just want to underscore to the public what Kelly said quite clearly, but I think it deserves to be underscored that the extra pickup this week is just for items that fit into your black garbage container, because the truck will be coming by like they do on your regular pickup day to empty that container. It's not the day to put things down on the ground. Already today, down the street from me, people were putting things out on the curb on the ground. So that is not until, that'll be in June when we announce the new dates for the Mayor's Cleanup Week. So please, just in your black container. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. Most importantly is to recognize the loss of a long time employee in the city of Coralville. Karen Muchler died last week, passed away. She had worked in the Coralville Police Department for 42 years and was a friend to everyone, a mother to many in the department, as she took new officers under her wing and provided good motherly advice. And anyone that knew Karen knew just how terrific she was. And fortunately, a very aggressive cancer took her much too quickly. And so last Friday, the city organized a drive-by parade or recognition of Karen past their home up in Swisher, and where they lived, and it was really meaningful to her husband and as well as many members of the family. And it was a huge turnout. I think nearly all the council members were part of that, and many city employees and law enforcement from all over the area, and public fire, and the transit bus was in the parade. It was really an amazing showing of support for and recognition of Karen. What I'd like to do is very quickly read the proclamation that I issued declaring last Friday being Karen Muchler Day in Coralville. I wanted to read the proclamation because it does a good, succinct way of describing everything that Karen's meant to the city, I think. So, whereas Karen Muchler worked in the police department for 42 years as a secretary, dispatcher, and administrative assistant, and whereas Karen was hired in 1978 by Chief Robert Stanley and worked for Chiefs Ewalt, Bedford, and Crone during tenure, and whereas Karen provided organizational skill and logistical support to 4 RAGBRIs, the Iowa Police Chiefs Association annual conference, Fourth Fest, Fry Fest, the police department's all-employee reunion, and many other city initiatives. And whereas Karen served as a second mother to numerous young officers, mentoring to many, and a friend to all, and whereas Karen's many contributions to the citizens of Coralville should not go unappreciated, and whereas Karen passed away on May 6, 2020, and will be missed but not forgotten by officers, department heads, employees, friends, residents, the Coralville City Council, and myself. Now therefore be it resolved that I, John A. Lundell, Mayor of the City of Coralville, do hereby recognize May 8th, 2020 to be Karen Muchler Day in honor for her achievements and dedication to the City of Coralville. I urge all citizens to remember Karen Muchler for her contributions and service to the community. Signed this 7th day of May in honor of her achievements and dedication to the City of Coralville. I urge all citizens to remember Karen Muchler for her contributions. So I think that proclamation was well written. I appreciate the staff writing that, and Karen, may you rest in peace. We will miss you. The only other thing I just was just an FYI to the council. Seems kind of trivial compared to what we just talked about. But as you may recall, a couple of years ago, the state of Iowa the Iowa Department of Public Health was entertaining applications from business establishments to to open cannabis stores, dispensaries, medical dispensaries across the state. And that cycle is coming around again. I think they have maybe 2 new licenses to award. I could be wrong on that number, but I think it's 2. But at least we submitted kind of generic letters of support to the applicants last time, none of which were chosen to be located in Coralville. 2 of those applicants are trying again to locate in Coralville, and just wanted to give the council a heads up that I'll be submitting another letter of support for each of those, saying we would welcome that business in Coralville if the Department of Public Health so chose. I think that's it for me. Again, thanks to all the city employees for working in unusual ways to serve our community. You're all doing a great job, and we'll get through this. So, city attorney's report, Don.
As per Mitch's request, Kevin goes first, and coincidentally, I have nothing. Kevin?
I'd just like to echo what the mayor said on the passing of Karen Muchler. You know, she is one of the she had the best quick wit. Even Don would be impressed with her, and she always was good for a laugh, and you'd always feel happy when you go by Karen, and she'd always smile at you. And so I will miss her, and my sympathies to her family.
Thank you, Kevin. Committee and council members report. Tom, glad to see you're joining us. We can't hear you.
Can you?
Now
okay.
Now we can. Okay. Go ahead. Would you like to go first since you just joined us?
I have nothing to say.
Are you in Ohio?
I'm in Ashland, Ohio.
Okay. Good for you. Well, thanks for joining us from afar.
Sure.
Okay. Well, now I'll just go in the order of the screen here. Next up, we Councilmember Goodrich. Lori? Need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. The Center for Performing Arts has been busy just painting, cleaning, updating, anything and everything they can as far as Center for Performing Arts, and they've been working hard. They did want us to know that there'll be a virtual cabaret again on May 23rd, and that's in conjunction with the Old Creamery Theater, Riverside Theater, and a couple other theaters, Cedar Rapids, and they will be songs to make you smile. So check out their website, find out more information about that. I also wonder if someone's going to mention, maybe Sherry could talk to us just quick about the tree planting on May 14th and 20th with the park system.
Yeah. So we'll be missing our, of course, our volunteer days with the local local junior high students. So we are going to be doing a social distancing tree planting this year by signing up for a specific time and come out for 30 minutes and plant a tree or 2. We're going to be doing that on May 14th from 12:30 to 3 and May 20th from 9 to noon. And the first one is at the Iowa River Landing, the Wetlands Park behind the Marriott on the wet side of the berm along the river. And the second will be at the Hawkeye Ready Mix site, the phase 1. You might have noticed that the green grass is coming in quite well. And now we're getting ready to plant trees. You can get more information on the Parks and Recreation website. If you go to, or the Coralville website, Parks and Recreation page, go to that page and you'll be able to link to our Sign Up Genius and be able to sign up for a specific slot. We have 2 slots per half hour, and we'll be able to spread people out throughout the park, but still explain what we want them to do. And if it rains on Thursday, we'll have a rain date the following Thursday.
Thank you, Sherry. Anything else, Lori?
Thank you.
Okay. I'll jump in and just say that this last weekend, I received a very nice email a core resident complimenting the city and specifically the Parks Department on the maintenance and upkeep of our parks that so many people are using more than ever before, and they thought it was amazing how good a job that the Parks Department, the Parks Division was doing, and I passed that on to Sherry. I'm sure she passed it on to her employees. So, thank you. Okay, next on my grid is Councilmember Gross. Mitch.
I don't have a lot to add. Mayor, I guess one thing, how are we communicating with people about the trash pickup? Because it just seems like it is a little confusing, and I think just where people's nerves are right now about, I don't want to deal with a lot of people putting things out and having things not picked up. So are we, how's that being communicated?
We communicated through the beat, through our website. We also sent out a press release, and I did see it on a couple different media sites that did post that for the week.
Okay, thank you.
It's been on social media too, Mitch.
Okay, thanks. Second, I also just want to kind of echo what John just said about Sherry and Parks and Rec. The Parks and Rec has been a really invaluable partner with what the schools have been doing, and last week, they put together activity packs for Coralville kids. So thank you, Sherry, for doing that. I think that was a great endeavor. So thank you. And finally, I just want to echo what everybody said about Karen. It was a probably one of the most moving experiences I've been a part of in a long time, her processional. That was quite an experience. And so much so that when I get a little overwhelmed, I have to go get coffee. So I made a beeline right to the North Liberty Java House, and I didn't realize I still had my city council decal on my car. So I was getting a lot of interesting looks. And Ellen has asked for the decal back, but I'm tempted. I'm just keeping it because I kind of like driving around town, council on my door. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, I'll jump in with this antidote to that. We put the mayor's sticker on Kelly's truck that I rode with Kelly in the processional, and we also forgot it was there, but it blew off and we went down the highway, so we had to turn around and go get it. So, Councilmember Dodds, Jill, you have anything tonight?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Gross mentioned the packets that the Park and Rec Department has put out. They kind of look like this. It says, today's a great day to learn something new, make your own sunshine. It's just full of all sorts of neat things. It has craft project in there, games, dice, jokes, tic-tac-toe. It has all sorts of good ideas of fun things to do when you get bored. So the Parks and Rec Department gave those out this last week at the luncheons, and they're going to do that again this coming week for the farmers market. So, and that brings me to the farmers market. I wanted to remind everybody that starts on the 18th this time. It's from 5 to 7 in the aquatic center parking lot. We're going to just have produce and baked goods only, and there will be walk up and then just also drive through. The drive through will come from the east side off of 12th Avenue. So it's on the website, on Coralville website, that you can look up and get details on how to become a vendor or a visitor and how to do the social distancing to go through all of those things. And then finally, Music for Meals is coming up this week for the Coralville Community Food Pantry. It's on May 14th, and it is going to be virtual like everything else is. So you can get your tickets for $25 a piece or $250 for a table through Eventbrite and go on for a virtual musical experience and support our pantry. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Councilmember Foster. Megan, do you have anything for us?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to start by echoing everyone's, condolences to, Karen's family and to all of the city staff that worked with her. Her parade was an amazing event. It really was very moving, and her level of service really is inspiring. So she definitely will be missed. To kind of go off of what Jill said, the virtual Music for Meals is this Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. It'll be live streamed on Facebook. When you purchase tickets, You will gain access to both the live stream and the virtual silent auction as well. There will be music by the Dandelion Stompers and the group The Soft and Low. We did have a food pantry meeting last night. John had some numbers that he would like me to share with you. They served between 200 and 300 families during the month of April. They did 40 to 50 deliveries per week and sent out 250 school weekend bags split between Northwest and West High. So they have been very busy. Last night at our board meeting, we talked a bit about whether or not, what the reopening plans would be for the pantry. Right now, they are not planning on reopening. They're going to continue the drive-through and the pickup service, but obviously looking towards the future when they can reopen. But for now, they're thinking it's safest to just kind of keep the service the way it has been with the social distancing. And then just the last thing I wanted to mention, as things are starting to open up again, and we're seeing stores open up and more businesses starting to open up, I really want to encourage everybody to wear a mask when you go out in public. And I know that it feels weird. I know that it's not something that we're accustomed to, but wearing a mask is one of the best ways to slow the spread of COVID-19, since people can be asymptomatic carriers. So it really is important that you wear those masks if you do go to the grocery store, if you do go shopping for any essential items. The CDC website has some suggestions for how you can create both masks that you sew, and there are a couple of no-sew versions as well. And you can have fun with it. We've ordered some fun masks for our kids, and for myself, I have a Wonder Woman mask that I absolutely love, and I never leave home without it. It's like my phone and my car keys. So I really encourage people to do that. And, the sooner we take these precautions, the sooner we can get past all of this. And that is all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Megan. And you look wonderful in your Wonder Woman mask. I saw the picture on Facebook. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Unless anybody has any final words of wisdom, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, I think it was Mitch and Megan. So moved by Gross, seconded by Foster. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned. Let's take about a 2 or 3 minute